For Israel, you know what I mean? For Israel. Yeah. Word like that.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom, Lord.
Shabbat shalom.
Today on Shabbat, I will be reading Colossians, chapter 1, verse 21. And you that were sometime unto me, and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now has been reconciled. This is talking about how Israel was separated through bondage, and through him we shall come back with him.
Right, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
All right. Okay, so we're going to get ready to start our class for today. We've heard a lot of different lessons that comes out, and over the last 3 or 4 years, man, I've been hearing some, well, we all have been hearing some crazy stuff coming over the airways. You know, we don't just dive right in stuff when we hear it. We take our time and we go through it, and we analyze it, and we read it for what it actually says. So we actually going to be dealing with the book of Ezekiel today, Ezekiel 1. And it's talking about the midst of the middle of the wheel, where it looks like there's a wheel in the middle of the wheel. There's a lot of people that's teaching, saying that that's aliens that's going to come out and going to pick Israel up and take them to some foreign land or to the wilderness or to different places. But we want you to be the judge of this on your own. We're just going to go down through the lesson, and we're going to just read it for what it is. Scripture says that the scriptures need no form of interpretation. So we will not be interpreting anything. We'll actually be reading it for what it is and receiving the understanding that our Most High Yah have placed before us. Y'all ready, brothers?
Sure.
Okay, so I have Brother Darren on my left. I have Brother Kevin on my right, and I have Brother Chauncey on my far right. I am your Brother Lloyd. And we're going to get started here right away. Brother Chauncey, can you give us Ezekiel 1 and verse 1.
Ezekiel 1, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now it came to pass in the 13th year of the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month,
In the 5th day of the month,
as I was among the captives by the river of Chebar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of Elohim.
Okay, so this is Ezekiel. He's telling you that at that time, once again, it was in captivity. We were as a people in captivity. And at the same situation, the Most High gave a vision. But this time he gave that vision unto Ezekiel. All right, so as I was saying, many have envisioned this and interpreted it right as being aliens. spaceships and different things like that. So we just want to go down through here and see what it's going to say. Brother Johnson, give me the second verse.
In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity, the word of Elohim came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest.
Now Ezekiel was a priest, read.
The son of Buzel in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Seber, and the hand of Elohim was there upon him.
Okay, so once again we said the hand of Elohim was what? Was upon Ezekiel, and read.
And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north.
Okay, so we see this whirlwind coming out of the north. So I'm asking that everyone kind of pay attention to what's exactly being read and receive it for what it's saying. Okay, so it says that a whirlwind came out of the north. What?
A great cloud.
And a great cloud was with this whirlwind. What?
And a fire enfolding itself.
And a fire enfolding itself. It's like a fire. When you say a fire enfolding itself, it's like a fire that's kind of like evolving around and around and around, but as a string, but it's moving around. Okay, my brother.
Brightness was about it.
And it says that brightness was about this fire.
And out of the midst thereof as the color of amber.
Okay, so out of the midst of this fire was the color of amber. Okay?
Out of the midst of the fire.
And they say the color of amber was out of the midst of the fire. And read, my brother.
Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures.
Now it said out the light, and it's now also that came out the midst of this fire. This whirlwind with this fire, and it says that excuse me. It says that the likeness of 4 living creatures. Read.
4 living creatures, and this was their appearance.
And this is how these creatures looked. What?
They had the likeness of a man.
So now we start off. Now we see that these creatures appeared as men, and what?
And everyone had 4 faces.
And everyone had 4 faces.
And everyone had 4 wings.
And each one of these creatures had 4 wings. Read.
And their feet were straight feet.
And their feet were straight feet.
And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot.
All right. And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. Read.
And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
So now as we can see that their feet sparkled, it talked about these 4 creatures, and it says that these 4 creatures had 4 wings. And also it said that their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like of a calf. But their feet sparkled. It said the color, and they sparkled, and the color was like burnished brass. Right? So it was a real dark brass that sparkled. That's what we're hearing here. And read.
And they had the hands of a man under their wings of their 4 sides.
So all 4 sides of this creature had hands under the wings. Read.
And they 4 had their faces and their wings.
And their 4 had faces and their wings. Read.
Their wings were joined one to another.
And their wings were joined one to another.
They turned not when they went.
And the wings didn't turn. This living creature, it didn't turn as it moved. It went. Keep reading.
They went everyone straight forward.
They all went straight forward. They didn't turn. So their wings was joined one to another. Okay, and then it says what? When they move forward in motion. They just came forward. Okay, go ahead and read.
As for the likeness of their faces.
As for the likeness of their faces.
They had the face of a man.
Uh-huh.
The face of a lion.
Uh-huh.
And on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side.
Okay.
They 4 also had the face of an eagle.
Okay, hold right there, my brother. So now let's break that down. Okay? So we know how these. So we know that a lot of us have studied together. I know there's other people that have studied this before. and have read about, creatures that have 4 faces and they have 4 wings. So we're pretty sure of what these creatures are. We're going to move forward with this. Brother Darren, can you give me, let me see, give me Matthew 25 and 31. But now, brothers and sisters, this is symbolic, right? And it's symbolic unto this portion. It's symbolic unto our Redeemer, right? So let's go. Each of them had the face of a man. So we'll read 25 and 31.
Matthew 25, verse 31.
And it reads thus what?
When the Son of Man shall come in his glory,
as states, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory,
and all the holy angels with him.
And what?
All the holy angels with him. Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
And what?
And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another.
Okay, that's good, my brother. So as we see now, this face, the face of the man is representing the Son of Man. So now we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna read Yeshua, brother Kevin. Yeshua, I'm not Yeshua. We're gonna read Revelations 19 and 16.
Revelations 19 and 16. And he has on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Adonai of Adonai.
Okay, that's complete one. That just completes 16. Okay, so now it said, now inside this passage, inside the scripture in 10, the second thing it mentioned was it said that each of them had on the right side the face of a lion. And so it's saying here in Revelation 19, read it again.
Revelations 19 and 16. And he has on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Adonai of Adonai.
So this represents, this lion, we all know the lion represents a king. Everybody knows that the lion is supposed to be the king of the jungle, right? So this lion represents the king, which also points back at the face of a man represented what? The Son of Man. Now this lion is representing what? The King of Kings, which is who? Our same Redeemer. Am I correct? Now let's go down and we're going to read, Brother Kevin, we're going to read Matthew 11 and 28. I'm sorry, Brother Darren. Matthew 11 and 28. You're going to stand, you're going to read Revelation 12 and 14. Okay, so we're going to have Brother Kevin, we talk about the ox. So now that was the right side was the lion. The left side of their face was an ox. And we're going to read that Matthew 11 and 28 through 30.
Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
So now we see that he said, come unto me. Those of you that are what?
Labor and are heavy laden.
Those of you that labor and are heavy laden. I want you to hold right there. We got to understand that what was the ox used for? The ox was always used to bear the weight, to take the weight of things, how would you say that word? To do labor, right? To move things. So when we come back and it says, come unto me, all you that labor and are what?
Heavy laden.
And heavy laden what?
And I will give you rest.
And I will give you rest. Okay, that go down to 30?
No, 29.
Okay, read.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
Take my yoke and learn of me. Read.
For I am meek and lowly in heart.
So this is once again our Redeemer talking. He's telling those of us that are heavy laden and that work and that labor that are heavy laden. He tells them that I can carry the load. I can carry the weight or the pressure that you are going through in this hour. He's carrying the weight of an ox. The ox is like he bears labor. So he's saying that you come into me and you take on he'll take on your yoke. Read that part again.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
if you take if they take his yoke upon him, if they receive him, right? Then what?
For I am meek and lowly in heart.
See, he's saying he's meek and lowly in heart, but see, that means that he have care for what? For Israel. And he's going to carry the burden of Israel. So once again, the face of the ox. We talked about the face of the man. We talked about the face of the lion. We talked about the face of the ox, right? And now, once again, that still points back to our Redeemer. If we read the face of the eagle, which is going to be Revelations 12 and 14. Did you read 30?
Yeah, I was almost done.
Okay, good.
And ye shall find rest unto your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Ah, you see that? Go ahead, sister.
It just makes me think about, people don't know how to cast their burdens on the Most High. They don't pray when they're going through stuff. They may pray about it, but they'll take the problem back and try to solve it themselves.
Yeah.
But they don't trust in Him. They don't trust in the Ruach will guide them.
Mm-hmm.
So just if we give our burdens, because we bear a heavy burden, but we have to trust in the Most High and trust in His Son to live in us.
Yes, that's right. And trust is basically an action word. Your trust is received by the way you carry yourself, whether you trust.
Because it makes me think how a lot of Israelites are puffed up and they think that they got it all. It's like, oh, I'm Israel. And I'm going like, okay.
Lack of patience.
You're not going through that?
Lack of patience. And like you said, faith and understanding. Everybody just wants everything to happen at their time, but it's not on your time, it's on the Most High's time. So as we say, if it's His will, then we'll live to see the next day, or I'll be able to call you tomorrow as if I told you that. But we don't understand patience. That's just how it is.
Exactly. So we have to live under the will of the Father, but we want to have microwave. We want that microwave life. When something goes wrong, we want to be able to stick it in the microwave and you put it out in 60 seconds and everything is fixed. Yeah, right now, right? So if you look at that, that's kind of like where we're setting that out. We got to look at how He's saying that you're going to take on my burden, right? And another thing is that, when you give praise to the Most High, you praise Him for those things He's done and those things that you have faith in that He's going to do for you. And you have faith in that those things that are not solved in your life, that He's going to carry you through those things too, because your burden should be solely placed upon Him. Solely. And it's how you live your life and your connection with Him. You have to build a relationship with Him. You have to have, in order to get through this thing that we're about to read about, you're going to have faith and be able to commit your burdens unto Him. Brother Kevin, we're at Revelations 12 and 14.
Revelation 12 and 14.
We're talking about the eagle. Read.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent.
So as we see that, there's other scriptures that connects the eagle with our Redeemer. But we kind of chose this one because Israel got to realize that, that they're going to be mounted upon the wings, upon the back, or upon just like the ox. They're going to be solely relying upon Him, and that He's going to be the one that carries them into the wilderness. Going to get them from all this craziness that's going to be going on this earth at that particular time. Because there's going to be some things that's going to be going down that we're not going to be able to deal with, because according to Scripture and what the Apostle Paul has spoken before, he was talking about putting on the whole suit of armor, but we're dealing with powers and principalities in high places. It's hard for us to sometimes deal with just a natural man. And then you got to deal with powers and principles in high places. You got to have a higher power. You got to have a power that's greater than yourself that can actually step in and take care of these situations. But you got to have faith in it. You can't give that to Him and then take it back. But as I was saying once before, the face of the man, the face of the lion, the face of the ox, and the face of the eagle all points back to our Redeemer. So, brother Darren, if you give me Ezekiel 1 and 11.
I did want to add one thing just to go along with Revelation 12:14. Because back, again, Revelation 12:14 is talking about how he's going to bring us into the wilderness for the second time.
Yes, sir.
Well, if we look at in Exodus, when he brought us to the wilderness the first time, that's Exodus 19:4. Says, "Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bear you on eagle's wings, unto myself."
Yes. You see that? You talk about right then, and that ties right into the same scripture we were just talking about. He gonna bear you on eagle's wings and reconcile you to myself.
Brought you unto myself.
Right, and bring you unto myself. Same as reconcile. Gonna bring you right into himself. So we see that once again that all these things are pointing right toward what? Our Redeemer. So if we can get Ezekiel 1 and 11.
Ezekiel 1, verse 11. Thus were their faces.
Now it said that was their faces. What?
And their wings were stretched upward.
And their wings were stretched upward.
2 wings of every one were joined one to another. And 2 covered their bodies.
So wait a minute now. They got 4 wings, right? 2 wings are stretched upward, right? And these 2 wings connected to another 2 wings, right? Because it said, and then it said, and was joined, and it says, and 2 wings of everyone would join what? One to another. So each one of them had 2 wings that was connected to each wing out of the 4. So those 2 wings that was going out was connected to the bottom of the bottom 2 wings at the bottom, right? And then what?
And 2 covered their bodies.
And so now, 2 of those wings was up in the air, right? It was they were stretched, they were stretched upwards, and the other 2 crossed and covered their body. Where did you see this before? Where?
It was on the Ark of the Covenant.
Now, it's talking about a living creature. But we have seen this living creature before. Right? That don't sound like no spaceship stuff. I don't think he's going to put these things on some flying saucer, but we're going to move forward. Can you give me that 12th verse?
And they went, everyone, straight forward.
So each of these creatures went straight forward. What?
Whither the Spirit was to go.
Whether the what?
Whither the Spirit was to go.
Read.
They went. And they turned not when they went.
See? So it's saying that wherever the Spirit gave them an order to go, that's where they went. Right? Y'all see that? So now, these living creatures they weren't spinning. We ain't seen nothing about spinning, right? And they as they moved, and they moved in one direction. When you see a flying saucer, from what I've heard, I've never seen one before, but when I've heard and what I've seen in these these sci-fi movies, I don't know how they act, man. They be zipping over here, zipping over there, zipping around. Now, what you gonna make me believe that he gonna send something zipping at me? So, what here your ride is? I just don't see that happening. And then it says these creatures was what? Controlled by the Spirit. These creatures was controlled by the Spirit. And that 13th verse says what?
As for the likeness of the living creature.
And it says, as for the likeness of the living creature, what?
Their appearance was like burning coals of fire.
Their appearance was like burning coals of fire. Anybody ever cooked on a grill? And you had the coals in the grill, but they're at their peak of being hot. What color are they? Orange. It's like a bright orange, right? So they have this bright orange hue. And read.
And like the appearance of lamps.
And the bright orange was so bright that it was the appearance of a what? Of a lamp. And what?
It went up and down among the living creatures.
So this burning orange went up and down this creature. It was just going up and down this creature. Right? So you see this thing going up and down, right? And what?
And the fire was bright.
And the fire was bright. What?
And out of the fire went forth lightning.
So you see this, you see this burnt orange fire going up and down the creature, and then you see lightning bolts coming out of it. Lightning bolts coming out of it. And this creature was moving. So the creature appeared as hot coals in the peak of a fire, right? But they were so hot that they appeared as even lightning was coming and traveling up and down the body of these creatures, right? And the fire was very bright. And out of the fire came forth lightning. Give me that 14th verse, brother.
And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning.
You see that? It said the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of what?
Of a flash of lightning.
So, wherever the Ruach commanded them to go, they went in the direction that they have been directed to go only.
That's just like when he gives us instructions. I'll have to find a specific scripture, but he said he gives us the instruction. He says, "Turn not to the right or to the left."
Yes, exactly. And we know that these creatures that we're talking about are so symbolic to the cherubs that sits on the Ark of the Covenant that I'm beginning to believe that these are cherubs. And angels are more they are more obedient than man. So I'm looking at that it's a possibility that this might be what that is. But we're going to read on down and we're going to find out exactly what's going on with this thing. Did you read that 15th verse?
On down.
All right, my brother.
15. Now as I beheld the living creatures.
He said, now as I beheld the living creatures, meaning that now as I look upon these living creatures, what?
Behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures. With his 4 faces.
So now each of these living creatures, it said that there was a wheel that was sitting upon the earth that sat beside each living creature. A wheel. Right? But if you have four of these living creatures, there was a wheel by each creature. So that's 4 wheels that was upon the earth. Right? So now you look at it, this wheel is on the earth. We're going to go a little bit farther. But so Ezekiel saw the living creatures. He saw a wheel on the earth near the living creatures that had 4 faces. Right? Read that 16th verse.
Verse 16.
Yes, sir.
The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl.
What color is a beryl? Another greenish color? So it says it said the appearance of the wheel and their works was likened to the color of beryl. I can't pronounce the word beryl. So now you got a living creature that has a burnt orange look, right? And there's fire coming out this creature, right? It's just the fire's going up and down this creature, and then it's sending out lightning bolts, and beside this creature is a wheel. And this wheel has a greenish color in this wheel. Right? And it says what?
And they 4 had one likeness.
And they 4 had one likeness. All 4 of them look just alike. All 4 wheels look just alike, and all 4 angels look just alike. All right, read it.
And their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
Let's deal with the wheel in the middle. We're going to deal with the wheel in the middle of a wheel. Sometimes let's look at this. That don't sound like an alien aircraft. It don't even sound like a flying saucer. But the wheel was the color of beryl, which was the color green, and it had that burnt orange in between it, right? And then we're going to read this 17th verse.
When they went upon their 4 sides. And they turned not when they went.
Really?
As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful.
And that's talking about the wheel. It's still talking about the wheel. It said these wheels, it said when they went upon 4 sides. But I think that's the angel. But it said they turned not when they went. As for the rings, now I'm talking about the rings, they were so high, meaning the wheel was so high that the potter was touching the earth. But when he looked up, when Ezekiel looked up, the wheel was so high up in the air. That lets you know that this wheel wasn't turned around to the side and wasn't moving around like a flying saucer. That lets you know that wheel was upright. Is that what y'all see? Look at it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're seeing that, right? So now, where you at? Okay, but I actually said they were so high that it was dreadful. Meaning that this wheel, Ezekiel had not seen a wheel like this before ever in his life. He saw the wheel touching the ground, right? And the wheel was so high up in the air, it was dreadful. It was scary that it was so high. And what?
And their rings were full of eyes round about them.
And the rings, all four wheels had eyes all around the wheels. Y'all see that? So these was upright wheels, and the circumference of the wheels was dreadfully high. The rings of the wheels have eyes completely around them. And if you give me Ezekiel 13:1, Brother Kevin, we're going to read 1 down through, we're going to go on down through 8.
Make you think of a monster.
It do make you think of a monster truck. I remember when I was in the military and they had this big truck called the Gore. And the wheels was tall as I was. I'm like 6 feet tall. And the wheel was tall as I was. Actually, it was taller. And the truck at night when it moved, it had little blank out drives, so the lights on the truck was very small. And when I would be sleeping out there in the field on God, they put up this thing. I was thinking about aliens and all that kind of stuff pulling up on me. You know what I mean? I'm 19 years old, 20 years old. So as this thing moved, it looked scary. It looked horrible. You know? But I kept my hand on my gun.
The eyes could also be symbolized as the Most High, or seeing everything. The nature of Him seeing.
We hit it that way. You got it, brother. You got it. You got it. We hit it right direction. See, I like my brothers. Man, my brothers be on point, boy. Y'all ready? Ezekiel 13, verse 1.
Ezekiel 13, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
And the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying,
It went unto Ezekiel and it was saying what?
Son of Adam, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy. And say unto them that prophecy out of their own hearts. Hear ye the word of Yahuwah. Thus says Adonai Yahuwah. Woe unto the foolish prophets.
It said woe to who?
The foolish prophets.
The foolish prophets. Right? It said woe unto the foolish prophets. But also, I'm going to back up in a minute, but I may not have to. Go ahead and read.
Woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own ruach and have seen nothing.
You see that? One of those prophets is talking about this is a flying saucer. This is not a flying saucer. You ain't seen no flying saucer. You ain't read about one not in this book. Read.
O Israel, your prophets are like the foxes in the deserts.
They like what?
The foxes in the deserts.
Read.
Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle of the day of Yahuwah.
Ain't nobody standing in the gaps now. Well, I don't say nobody. There's some that is, but a lot of these loud-mouthed prophets, man, that's not in line with this word, man, and not taking for what it's saying and not trying to make up something new. They're not standing in the gap. Read.
They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying Yahuwah says, and Yahuwah has not sent them.
He ain't even sent them. Read.
They have made others to hope that they will confirm the word.
Read.
Have ye not seen a vain vision? And have ye not spoken a lying divination? Whereas ye say, Yahuwah says it. Albeit, I have not spoken.
He said it. He haven't spoken. You saying that he said it. But he's not having said anything. Read.
Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuwah, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, says Adonai Yahuwah.
So we got to understand, right, that a lot of these things that are coming forth and a lot of people put out different things, we got to be able to go read for ourselves, right? So I do want to back up a little bit back to 16, right? So we're talking about this wheel. The wheel has eyes all the way around, and they're moving round and around and around and around, right? And one more thing, like the brother was saying, that these eyes are telling you that at that hour, he gonna see. I mean, well, he can see it now, but it's giving you a symbolicness of that. He see everything. He see the false prophets. He see everything that's going on. He know every thought in our mind. We got to understand that thing real seriously about that, right? But Brother Jones, if you drop over to Ezekiel 13 and 17.
Ezekiel 13 and 17.
Uh-huh.
Likewise, thou son of man.
Likewise, thou son of man.
Set thy face against the daughters of the people.
He says, set thy face against the daughters of the people. Everybody plays a role. Everybody plays a role. It's critical what everybody do. Everything that we do is critical. Read.
Which prophesies out of their own heart.
They prophesize based on what they feel. I've seen women on TV and walking with people and they touch them and rubbing on them and said that the Most High gonna do this and He gonna do that, and none of the people ever see anything that they said they was gonna do. That's false prophecy. But it says that the women are saying things based on their own heart. They may wish that He would come and do this for this person. They may have enough sympathy for him, but it's not based on your sympathy on man. Nothing is based on anybody's sympathy. It's based on what? It's based on the grace of the Most High. It's His grace. Read.
And prophesies thou against them. And say. Thus saith Elohim. Thus say Adonai Yahweh, woe unto the women that sew pillows to all armholes and make kerchiefs upon the head of every stature to hunt souls.
Read.
While ye hunt the souls of my people, and we have saved the souls alive that come unto you.
Read.
And I will ye pollute me among the people. Let me start over. And I will ye pollute me among my people.
Is it, and will ye pollute me among my people?
For handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread.
You know, for reward. Will you pollute me unto my people for reward? Read.
To slay the souls that should not die.
And you're calling souls to die that shouldn't even die. Read.
And to save the souls alive that should not live.
And the one it's like the man of a good apparel. They said that the man of good apparel come in and they say, oh, he got diamonds and rings on. He dressed really nice. You come up and sit with us. Right? But you got the man that come in and then he loaded. This brother don't really have anything. And he tell you sit back in the back. That happens a lot.
It's also like where we see a lot of places where they have a famous prophet come in,
yes, sir.
and you know the people, and he's saying a whole lot of stuff, and in my eyes, entertaining the people,
yeah,
and saying words that make them feel good, and they're feeling it, they're happy, and they're paying them. Like you know,
they're giving that money out.
They're paying them, so that's just like receiving stuff. Let me see what does it say.
That was up in 19.
Yeah. Will ye pollute me among my people for handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread? That's payment.
That's it.
That's payment.
Yeah.
You know, and the people are feeling this way and feeling that way, feeling good. I mean, but they're feeling about false prophecy.
It's the same as filth of lucre. I know a lot of us have heard of filth of lucre. If you haven't, look it up. Filth of lucre is when somebody is teaching and doing stuff, man, and they're doing it. They're teaching lies and doing every other thing, but they're doing it. They're not doing it for the Most High. They're doing it for a cost. I remember the first time back in the day when I was doing some things. I was preaching back in the day, and I don't do it now. But I taught a revival, and they wanted to give me some money. I said, I don't want no money. I didn't understand that. Why you doing that? Most High taking care of me. I mean, I wasn't using the word Most High. At the time, I was saying God. But I just think it was bringing me beyond that. So I'm just saying that, this thing is free. This thing is free. And it's based on what anybody wants to give from their heart, unto the works of the Most High, or what we do for the Most High. as a people, not as an individual. You know, this thing probably be a free thing.
Yeah, because people are paying these prophets, and they're putting their faith in that prophet, in what their prophet says.
Yeah.
The false prophet says. They don't know that the prophet's false.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not putting their faith in the word of Yahushua, the word in the word.
Right, they bypass the word for the prophet.
Right.
And I'm noticing that a lot of pro football players are running around here with and thinking like they prophets, and they run around here doing these things like they, you know, you see them. Like you go to that spiritual channel they got, that channel they so-called spiritual that all them lives run through. You can go on that channel and you see them with nice suits on, hankies hanging out their pockets, and their mouth moving like a fish out of water. Ain't telling nobody's truth. Yes, ma'am.
Also about the word too, it's only open for a short amount of time because they're already watering down the Bibles and everything. So it's only a short amount of time that you'll be able to receive this truth.
That's true. So, which is very true, right? And the sister was saying that, you know, this word, man, this word is coming. There's going to be a famine in the land. And that famine in this land is going to be a famine of word, of the truth. And right now they're watering down the Bibles. And as we've said before here, there's so many nations or so many countries right now, you can't even buy a Bible in that country. You can't have one. And we was reading some Bible, we was looking up the definition of something this morning, and Lord help us. They didn't even, we looked at the word firmament, and they didn't even have Ezekiel 10 in the Bible. In that book, they didn't even have Ezekiel 10 in it. I'm saying, wow, how do you take out a whole chapter? They were jacking us up with getting a word here and there. And now they're taking chapters. Yes, ma'am.
One of those Bibles called the Firmament Lapalooza.
They call it Lapalooza. They called the firmament Lapalooza. They said that the Lapalooza was up in the sky. I'm saying, what is I know they ain't talking about my Redeemer. Who is Lapalooza? That sounds like something demonic.
And that was the NIV.
And that was the NIV. Said Lapalooza. I don't know what Lapalooza is, and I hope I'm not doing unto myself by sin. But the most I understand the truth, but I ain't gonna speak that on myself like that. Where you at, my brother?
All right. Back in the 19th.
In that 19th verse?
By your lying to my people that hear you, lies. Your lies. Here's your lies. Wherefore thus says Elohim, behold, I am against your pillows.
He said, behold, I'm against your pillows.
Wherewith ye there hunt the souls to make them fly.
And that's something. You got people out here hunting souls. Read.
And I will tear them from your arms, and I will let them souls go.
Wow, read.
Even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly.
Read.
Your kirk chiefs also will I tear and deliver my people out of your hand. And they shall be no more in your hand to be hunted.
They will no more be in your hands to be hunted, and what?
And ye shall know that I am the Elohim.
Read, my brother.
Because with lies ye have made the heart of the righteous sad.
With lies. Lies make anybody sad they finally been lied to. I was pissed off when I found I've been lied to for 40-some years. 50 years. Something. I ain't gonna tell my age. 50-some years. Was it 47? 47, because I do it too. Okay. All right. So 47 years I was lied to. They still lying to you, you're just not listening. They still lying to you. You're just not listening. Right? We're not believing in those lies. Read, my brother.
Whom I have not made sad, and strengthened the hands of the wicked, that he should not return from his wicked way.
Read.
By promising him life.
Isn't that something? They will preach or teach in accordance to the way that satisfies people. Wasn't that a scripture? It was a scripture I was talking about. They preach smooth things unto us. People with itching ears. And they go out and they preach smooth things. They don't want to hear the raw truth. They want to hear them. They're going to accommodate what they're doing, because as they do what as they teach what to accommodate what these people are doing, these people are filling their pockets up with money. And you look up, one got a helicopter, one got a jet, One man said that he needed a donation because he needed a new jet. You got people walking around and have a bicycle. And you need a donation for a jet. You're not at that point you need a jet. Especially when you're spreading lies all over America and the rest of the continent. Read, my brother.
Therefore ye shall see no more vanity, nor divine divinations. For I will deliver my people out of your hand, and ye shall know that I am the Elohim.
So we're looking at what's coming down out of the sky, right? It's coming down for a reason. It's not a flying saucer. This is not, you're not going to see an alien walking down out of a saucer and his knees are bent backwards and his eyes are real close. He got a narrow face. You're not going to see none of that during this time, not when this takes place. Maybe when they write a cartoon or when they make a fake movie or something, you might see it. But in reality, this is not going to happen, not according to the will of the Most High, because the will of the Most High has something else in plan. Brother Darren, can you give me Ezekiel 1:19? Did you have something to add to that? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Ezekiel 1:19.
Ezekiel 1, verse 19.
And
when the living creatures went.
And when the living creatures went, we're still talking about these living creatures now, and said when they went,
the wheels went by them.
So as the creatures went, and the living creatures with the two wings up, two wings crossing their body, you got a burnt orange fire going up and down this creature that's shooting off lightning bolts. It says as they move, the wheels move. Right? Read.
And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth.
And when the living creatures, because remember the wheel was sitting on the earth, when the living creatures raised up off the earth, the wheel was raised up off the earth. And what?
The wheels were lifted. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went.
What spirit? Read.
Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels.
So the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. Read.
When those went, these went.
When the spirits went, what? The wheels went. And what?
And when those stood,
these stood. These stood. Read.
And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them.
Read.
For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels.
They just came back and made sure we knew that the motion of the living creatures in combination of the motion of the wheels appeared as a wheel right in the middle of a wheel. Did y'all get that? Yep. So you got to think about it. Well, I'm gonna give it to you here. I'm about to get hit myself. I don't want to do it. My wife gets me for doing that. So we might have to go a little bit farther. Let's hit this 22. She said, "Don't give up your nugget early, Brother Charles. I don't care how you try to pull it out of me." Go ahead, brother. Give me 22.
Verse 22.
Yes, sir.
And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal. Stretched forth over their heads above.
So now, let's look at it. Y'all ready? So now, the firmament, we know what the firmament is, am I correct? So now, you got this wheel now first of all, you got these creatures with four wings, two in the upright position, two crossing the body. You got a burnt orange fire going up and down these creatures, right? Each creature has four creatures. Each creature has a wheel that comes along with the creature. When the wheel moves, the creature moves. When the creature moves, the wheel moves, right? The wheel is sitting on earth. And then it says that the wings of the what? Of the creature, read that again. In 22. And the likeness of the firmament?
And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above.
So above the heads of the creature, there was a firmament. And this firmament, what? Read that 23rd verse.
And under the
I'm sorry. And this firmament was a terrible crystal Why did it say terrible crystal? You know, most of us look at crystals, we say, man, that's a nice crystal like that.
That's the Most High.
Can I bring out that crystal glass?
Elohim that's between them two.
We getting there. So it says that there's a terrible crystal in between, right above. There's a terrible crystal right above the heads of the living creatures. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. Give me 23.
And under the firmament were their wings straight.
And so under this firmament was their wings. The wings that were straight up, they were right up under the firmament. So now we're looking at the sky, right? And the wings and these creatures are in between the wheel, and the wheel is on earth. So the reason why Ezekiel said that was a trouble, the wheel was so high, it was like dreadful, because the wheels went from the earth to the sky. That's a big wheel, right? Now, according to as far as I know, I don't see how a flying saucer that size don't land on earth. I don't see it. The possibility, I guess, if the Most High say so, I don't see that happening. But it says the wings, the straight wings of these creatures, you're 23, you're 22. 23. Read it. And
under the firmament were their wings straight, the one towards the other. Everyone had two, which covered on this side, and everyone had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings.
So it says, let's visualize it again. Let's get a vision, right? So now you got these wheels, and you got these creatures, and we've already talked about what's taking place with these creatures. We're talking about the burnt orange fire, and how the fire goes up and down the body. We're talking about how the lightning is coming out of that, right? And then you got this green-looking wheel that sets each one of them have a wheel. So you got 4 angels, 4 wheels, and the movement as they take instructions from the Spirit, right? It's like this. The movement is going like this, but the wheels are like this, right? Which gives you an idea of what a wheel in the midst of a wheel. Nobody got it. Did I need to go forward? Okay, we keep going. So now, you just read 23, right? Yes. Give me that 24 verse again.
And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings.
When they went, they heard the noise of the wings.
Like the noise of great waters.
Like the noise of great waters have a roar to it. And what?
As the voice of the Almighty.
Because the Almighty's voice is so powerful and so strong. Why do you think that the children of Israel told Moses, we don't want him to talk to us no more? We don't even want to hear his voice anymore. Let him talk to you and you come back and tell us. Read.
The voice of speech. As the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings.
And read.
And there was a voice from the firmament.
And there was a voice from the firmament.
That was over their heads.
That was over their heads. That firmament we was talking about, it looked like a what? What's called terrible crystal and what?
When they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne.
It was the likeness of a throne. So now we get there. So he went inside the firmament. The throne was on top of the firmament. Read.
As the appearance of a sapphire stone.
As the appearance of a sapphire stone. The throne looked as if it was a sapphire stone. And what?
And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it.
So you see that? On top of this crystal, the firmament, the wheels set on the earth. The angels were 4 wheels on earth. The 4 angels were within the wheels. The angels was bright orange, and the orange was going up and down like a fire going up and down these angels. And then you got the wheels that were turning with all these eyes on it. And as the spirit of him that sat on the throne told them to move, they moved in unity. They moved together. That's what made it look like a wheel amongst the wheels. You can't see it yet. You hook me up? You tried? Did you change your mind? It's on. Hit that switch right there for me. Brother Darren got it. Those wheels. So you're looking at the throne in the firmament. You see the earth where the wheels are on the earth. But the light side of the eyes, you got the angels within it. And you see how the fire is going from angel to angel, and if you speed it up and it's moving really fast, it's going like wheels within a wheel. That don't look like a flying saucer. Even in my mind can't make me believe that that's a flying saucer. It can't do it. And where you at, brother?
27.
And then don't do 27. Give me Ezekiel 10 and 1, brother. Brother Chauncey, if you pull up Ezekiel 9 and 2. Give me Ezekiel 10 and 1.
Ezekiel 10 and 1.
And it reads thus wise.
Then I looked,
And then Ezekiel looked,
and behold,
he saw something, what?
in the firmament there was above the head of the cherubim.
Of the cherubims. So now we know that these creatures were cherubims. I mean, I read it before, I won't say it in the beginning. But now we see that these are cherubims.
There appeared over them were a sapphire stone.
And there was a sapphire stone above them, and what?
As the appearance of the likeness of a throne.
So the sapphire stone was is in the likeness of what?
A throne.
Of a throne. And read.
And he spoke unto the man clothed with linen.
And he spoke to the man clothed with linen.
And said, Go in between the wheels, even under the cherubs, and fill your hand with coals of fire from between the cherubs, and scatter them over the city. And he went in my sight.
And he went in. The man that clothed in linen went in. He went in between the cherubims, and he got these hot coals. And he took them and he spread and he scattered them over the city. What city? Glad you asked. We're probably talking about Jerusalem. Right? But now let's look at this. There's a scripture that I didn't put in here that was talking about heaping hot coals upon people's heads. We didn't get it? But there is one. I'm going to back off of that, but there is one. I just don't have it. Give me that name, that Ezekiel 9 and 2. If you get a chance, look that up. Give me Ezekiel 9 and 2.
Ezekiel 9 and 2.
And
behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate.
6 men came from the way of the higher gate. We're talking about that holy city. But the higher gate, it says 6 men came from that gate, and what?
Which lieth toward the north.
Which lieth toward the north, what?
And every man a slaughter weapon in his hand.
Every man was ready to go down, had a slaughter weapon in his hand, and what?
One man among them was clothed with white linen.
So now we know where this guy with white linen come from. What?
With a writer's inkhorn.
With a writer's inkhorn, and what?
By his side. And they went in. And stood behind beside the brazen altar.
So y'all see that? So y'all know where the brazen altar is, right? Everybody know where that's at, right? And read, my brother.
And the glory of Elohim of Israel was gone up from the cherubim. From the cherubim whereupon he was to be the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen,
and what?
Which had the writer's inkhorn by his side.
And what?
And Elohim said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Through the midst of Jerusalem.
He told him, go through the city, go through the midst of Jerusalem, and do what?
and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So y'all now listen now. Did we realize that somewhere down the line inside this book, it said that there was a seal on their foreheads? Do you see where it came from? Read, brother.
And to the others, he said, in my hearing,
He said to the others, but what I heard, what?
Go ye after him.
And he told the other guy, the other five, he said, go behind him and what?
Through the city and smite.
And smite. Go through the city and smite what?
Let not your eyes spare neither. Let not your eyes spare.
Don't let your eyes miss nothing. You see everything in that city and what?
Neither have ye pity.
And you don't have pity on nothing. Now listen. These guys have to do exactly what our Elohim tells them to do. They don't have that choice to be disobedient. Read, brother.
Slay, utterly, old and young.
Wait a minute. Just because you too old don't mean that. Just because you old, he ain't gonna see you. Just because you young don't mean he's not gonna see you. Read, brother.
Both maids and little children.
And whether I'm just a maid, and somebody knock the door. You got your mic?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I'm just a maid. That means whether you're a handmaid, because we know that there are strangers that's within the place. So now let's keep going here now. and what? Little children. Little children are going to be submitted to. He's going to smite the little children that sits under the word, hearing the word, but refuse by with a hard heart to what? Line up. And what else?
And women.
Hey, some men say, oh, that's a woman, don't touch her. Don't you miss her. Get her too. And what?
But come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
Read.
And begin at my sanctuary.
What? Start in the sanctuary.
Get them first.
Because the one in the sanctuary is hearing it and refusing to follow it. Now I don't think those words gonna come out of gonna come out of flying saucer, and that's all that's gonna take place behind that. I just really don't believe the theory. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just looking at the picture and I just imagine it's a vision like him bearing the spirit on the Ark of the Covenant. That's what, just from this picture, it took me a minute to get out of my glasses. But that's what I kind of envision. And like this spirit with the eyes are going about looking and watching throughout the world and seeing all these things. That's why I'm thinking that cherubim is coming. That's why I'm thinking the throne is just like the Ark of the Covenant, just rolling through the world, just watching.
So think about this, right? I'm gonna let you read this 6 verse. Good point, sister. Read this 6. You already read that, right? Complete the 6.
Okay. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
So all those ones, the ancient men, those are talking about the men that's supposed to be teachers. The ones that are supposed to be grave, the ones that are supposed to have this knowledge and supposed to be doing the right thing, but they refuse to tell the truth and mislead the people of the Most High. So now let's look at this thing. Y'all see how it's set up there with the throne? You see that? The throne is sitting there. You got the crystals up under him. You got the wheels. He got the angels, and he directing everything. He like this, bro. He going down. Whoa! I see some over there. Go down and smite him. Can you yell or something like that chasing you? Man, the Most High ain't no joke, man. This guy is coming. You see him, he driving that thing. This thing is better than a 4-wheeler, man. This thing is better than the monster trucks. He come right down through it. Can you imagine that? Can you see it? This brother, come down here, boy. Come down, boy. Okay, let's get him. One behind, back up. And I'm telling you, the spirit of the enemy is like wheels upon the. Look, I got a bad imagination, but I think that it might be a good one. But the Most High himself I'm saying, he has a graces of humor. Anytime you take somebody that's done wrong and give them boils as a punishment, that's humor. I'm going to give you hemorrhoids, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you hemorrhoids. Walk with that. Oh, you can't see? He has the graces of humor. But it's real. Come on, y'all. Get around me in this thing. Come on, let's go. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. They brag about they voting on drugs. Drugs ain't got nothing to do with this. Them 22, 24, 26 can't touch that. Man, that was fun. Oh, I had a good time. Okay, Ezekiel 10:3.
Ezekiel 10, verse 3.
Read.
Now the cherubim stood on the right side of the house when the man went in, and the cloud filled the inner court.
And so now we know about the inner court and stuff, right? Because when we did this thing, we talked about this tabernacle. Let's read. Let's drop down to the 20th verse.
Verse 20. This is the living creature that I saw under the Elohim of Israel by the river of Chebar, and I knew that they were the cherubims.
So that identifies those are cherubims. These living creatures that he's been talking about all the time are cherubims. Brother Johnson, give me Ezekiel 8. I want you to jump back to Ezekiel 1, Brother Kevin. But Brother Johnson, give me Ezekiel 8:1, and let's run down through 4.
Ezekiel 8, verse 1. And it came to pass.
And it came to pass.
In the 6th year.
In the 6th year.
In the 6th month.
In the 6th month.
In the 5th day of the month.
In the 5th day of the month.
As I said in my house.
As I said in my house.
And the elders of Judah said before me.
And the elders of Judah said before me what?
That the hand of Elohim fell there upon me.
He said the hands of Elohim fell upon Ezekiel at that hour. Then what?
Then I beheld.
Then I saw.
And lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire.
And he saw the likeness of the appearance of fire.
From the appearance of his loins, even downward fire. And from his loins, even upward, as the appearance of the brightness, as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of a hand, and took me by the locks of my head.
He grabbed him by his hair. He had locks. He grabbed him by his hair. Sometimes locks ain't good. But anyway, in that case, I guess you're all right. I know back in the day when they used to fight, they grabbed the guy's hand and swing him everywhere. But go ahead and read.
And the Ruach lifted me up.
And the Ruach
lifted me up between the earth and the heaven.
And he said the Ruach lifted him up between the earth and the heaven. What?
And brought me in the visions of Elohim to Jerusalem.
And he said it brought him within the vision of what we just talked about. What?
To the door of the inner gate.
And he went from the door of the inner gate, what?
That looked towards the north.
And it looked toward the north, what?
Where was the seat of the image of jealousy.
And where was the seat of the image of jealousy.
Which provoketh to jealousy.
Don't he always tell you? Isn't it all over the Bible? That I am a jealous Elohim. Don't provoke me to jealousy. But Ezekiel said he saw this there. Now we already know we're going to get there. Give me that 4th verse.
And behold, the glory of Elohim of Israel was there.
And what?
According to the vision that I saw in the plain.
He said he was there. The glory of Elohim was there. According to what I saw. This is Ezekiel talking to us. Let's see if he said that. Let's see how he finishes this thing up in Ezekiel 1. And we hit that 27, 28 verse. Revelation 20:11.
Ezekiel 1:27.
Ezekiel 1:27.
And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire.
What?
And it had brightness round about
it. And what?
As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain.
Hold tight. Don't y'all think that the Most High is pissed off about these heathens that commit abomination and they adopted the rainbow? Do you see how he used the rainbow himself? Don't y'all think he pissed off that they learned anything about a rainbow? They took on the rainbow, man. They took the rainbow. The rainbow was a covenant between him and us to tell us that he would never flood the earth again. And they took that and made that something soft, something abominable. Thank you, my brother.
And not only that, I believe it surrounds the storm.
Yes, right there. Around that palm. That was just said. Read that book. Read that. Who's reading? Brother Kevin, brother Darren, who's reading? Okay, brother, give me that again on 28. Read 28.
As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Yahuwah. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spoke.
You see that? It was around the throne. Revelations 20 and 11. Who got a question? Somebody.
So those so-called things they see there, what they call
UFOs,
that's so from the Air Force down there in Fools, right?
Well,
I be looking at my window at night trying to spot one.
yeah, they probably trying to boost with something.
It's a wood crash one time. They were looking at the car, and I figured the Most High, he got some up there. It ain't like that. Go fall on the earth and have rest of parts and.
Yeah, and the bigger part of it is some of the bigger people that teaches this word is teaching Israel that UFOs are going to come and pick us up and take us to this land somewhere, to the wilderness or something. I don't know where they say they're going, but I know they say they're going to pick us up. And I don't see how they could read what we did. We basically stayed in Ezekiel, didn't we, brothers? We didn't really come out of Ezekiel, and they found us in Ezekiel. Okay, sister, and then found us in Ezekiel. How could they miss it? Unless they was drunk, high, or fooling around, or trying to merely mislead somebody.
It sounds good.
All right, yes, ma'am. I want to sound like they smart and they know something. That's what it is.
He read it in the earlier scripture, I believe somebody mentioned it, but he said he's going to mount us up on wings of the eagle to take us home. So that's an airplane.
I mean, you never know. Yeah, and really,
he's going to take us over to the land.
That sounds more promising to me, Get on an airplane. Because, because what's going to happen, when they find out who we are, they try to take them apostles back over to Israel. And people come out of their pocket, I ain't never seen I ain't never seen people spend money so fast. They just spend their money buying them boat tickets and sending them back over there. When they find out who we are, they come on, bro, y'all gotta go. Get on this plane for saving a seat. And they're trying to go with you. It's not going to be a problem getting back to the land. Yes, ma'am.
There's a scripture, forgive me for not knowing where. It said 10 will take hold to one Israelite.
Yes, ma'am.
Trying to make that journey.
10 going to grab hold of one. Eric, you can't fight him off, bro. I already see it in your face. You got to go with it, all right? You got to go with it, Eric. You got to go ahead and get it. And I know you're a big guy. You can swing pretty good, bro. You got to go ahead and let him go with you, all right? But they said 10 going to grab hold to one Israelite. And they're going to try to go with them. They're going to try to take them on back where they came from. I'm not no Hebrew. Let me hit you up. Come on. I'm a nigga. Okay, well, come on, nigga. You going over there. I'm serious. Just think about it. I'm an African American. Okay, African American. Come on. You going over there. Come on. You going.
Gentile.
I'm a Gentile, okay, Gentile. Get your black in, let's go. You going. Yes, ma'am.
And it's because they don't realize that we are the apple of his eye.
That's right. And he tells them all over the Bible, we're his apple of his eye. And they have crushed apples. They have stoked the apples of his eye. Some of them have crushed. We became strange fruit hanging on the tree. We've been known by bywords, niggas, coons, spirit chuckles, African American. That's a byword. Black. Sembo. And all they done called us everything under the sun. He said we were going to be known by a byword. And they can't figure that out. And they in here crying on it, asking people for money. This is one channel on TV. Every time I turn that TV on and I hit that channel, even if I'm passing by the channel, this man asking for money. And he's praying so desperately, with seriousness in his heart. But if you just sow a seed of $300, man, I'm taking my bills off, pay my bills with, bro. You go on with that now. I don't believe it no more. You fooled me about 30 years ago. Don't bring that back. And that's for the fake Jews. There's this brother that was, when I first got in this walk, that I was listening to, and because he was getting really close to the truth. I was listening to me one white guy. He was getting really close to the truth, really close to the truth, really close to the truth. And he would not say out of his mouth that we was true Israel. He came really close. Everything else was tight, but he still tied those imposters in on that thing, on the truth. Hagen, what's his name? John Hagen. He did really good now. He was nice. He had the word down pat, but he wasn't going to tell the truth. You know, that man had been off TV so quick. And we're going to take your broadcast, bro. We're going to take that from you. Where we at?
Revelation 20.
And what?
11.
And read.
Revelation 20, verse 11.
And read, my brother.
And I saw a great white throne.
And I saw a great white throne.
And him that sat on it.
And him that sat on it.
From whose face the earth and the heavens fled away.
When they see him sit up there like that, you think they're not going to try to run? They're going to try to get on down through there. Keep going, brother.
And there was found no place for them.
And they can't go because the wheels, he got eyes all around the wheel, seeing them everywhere. Like I said, he getting on down that road. He seen him. Come on, brother.
And I saw the dead. Small and great.
Small and great. Big and little. Old and young. Rich and poor. My brother said that from the corner, and he's right. Keep going.
Stand before Yahweh.
And they got to stand before him. And what?
And the books were opened.
And the books are going to be open. And what?
And another book was opened.
And there was another book open. Two books open. What?
Which is the book of life.
Which is the book of life.
And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books.
You can't even die and get away from judgment. Read.
According to their works.
So don't commit suicide. You're going to get judged anyway. Read that 14th verse. And they're going to be judged according to what? Their works. Read, my brother.
13.
Yes, sir.
And the sea gave up the dead which were in it.
So don't go try to drown yourself. You're still going to be judged. Keep reading.
And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them.
The ones in the graves coming out. And what?
And they were judged, every man according to their works.
And that 14th verse says what?
And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
It's tight, right? It's tight, but it's right. It's tight, but it's right. Brother Kevin, close it out, brother. Ezekiel 6 and 1. Ezekiel 6 and 1. Ezekiel 6 and 1. This was a real inspiring lesson for me. Because, you know, I've been hearing this over and over and over down the years, and I said, I'm not even going to touch that. These guys are stupid. I'm not even going to, it don't even warrant my time to even, research this thing about some aliens and flying saucers and stuff like that. I said, it don't even warrant my time. And it's a very stupid thing. But I've heard it over and over and over and over again. I said, I think that we might need to, my wife said, What about Ezekiel 1? When we read, I read it and I said, yeah, man, we might need to do this. But Hashatan, but no, I'm saying nothing can happen that the Most High don't allow to happen, right? But it's funny that my back been out. Man, I'm saying it was out for, and trust me, I'm not looking for the sympathy. But it was out from, I think, Sunday or Monday. Was it Sunday or Monday? Carol? It was earlier during the week, we know, right? From the beginning of the week. And I was praying, and I still had the time to really do this research, and I still, at one point, when everybody was home, I basically had to crawl to get to the bathroom. And it's funny that the Most High has came by and set things in order where I was able to even, go through the lesson and then be able to walk in and do the lesson and be able to, by faith, walk out if this is His will. But we're going to get Ezekiel 6. Ezekiel 6 and 1. Ezekiel 6 and 1.
Ezekiel 6 and 1.
Yes, sir.
And the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying,
What do you say, brother?
Son of Adam, son of man,
Set
your face toward the mountains of Israel,
toward the mountain of Israel,
and prophesy against them.
And do what?
Prophesy against them.
He didn't say for them, to them. He said against them. What?
And say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Adonai Yahuwah.
Read.
Thus says Adonai Yahuwah to the mountains.
And thus what He says unto the mountains.
And to the hills.
And to the hills.
To the rivers.
And to the rivers.
And to the valleys.
And to the valleys.
Behold.
Behold. Look. Give me your attention. What?
I, even I, will bring a sword upon you.
He said, even I will bring a sword upon you. I'm not going, I have to say, I come directly. What?
And I will destroy your high places.
And I will destroy your high places and what?
And your altars shall be desolate.
Read, my brother.
And your images shall be broken. And I will cast down your slain men before your idols.
Read.
And I will lay the dead carcasses of the children of Israel before their idols.
Oh, my Lord. Read.
And I will scatter your bones round about your altars.
Oh, my Lord. Keep going, brother.
In all your dwelling places the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate, that your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and cease, and your images may be cut down, and your works may be abolished.
My brother, read the 7th verse.
And the slain shall find in the midst of you, and the slain shall find in the midst of you, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah. Yet will I have a remnant, that ye may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations, when ye shall be scattered through the countries. And they that escape of you shall remember me among the nations, whither they shall be carried captives. Because I am broken with their whorish heart.
They have made him, what was that word we were talking about? He was, I can't think of the word, jealous. They made him jealous, man. That's rough. Go ahead, read, brother. I'm sorry.
With their whorish heart. They cheated on him.
They did. That's right. They cheated on him.
With their whorish heart, which has departed from me, and with their eyes which go a whoring after their idols. And they shall loathe themselves for the evils which they have committed in all of their abominations.
And read, my brother.
And they shall know that I am Yahuwah, and that I have not said in vain that I would do this evil unto them.
He said, and that I have not said in vain that I would do this evil unto him. I didn't lie. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. Read, my brother.
Thus says Adonai Yahuwah, smite with your hand and stamp with your foot and say, alas, for all the evil abominations of the house of Israel, for they shall fall by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence.
That's good, my brother. I want to say, make most high give a blessing to the reading of the word. Once again, I don't see where that this is a scripture or a book that's talking about spacecraft and alien craft, flying saucers and green men. I don't see that at all. But what I do see is the glory of the Most High. I see him coming down and being about his work. that anything that he said, that it would actually return to him void. His word will come back to him in truth. And it also is a warning to Israel, that Israel do have that chance to reconcile, with the Most High. And we got to also think about this, that once those ashes are spread out, the coals of ashes have been spread out, and so for us knowing this word and basically knowing the story of what he just told us about, we should have an understanding that he could do this at any time. And knowing that he could do this at any time, it should be enough to realize that his patience and his grace has been so great with us that it should make us ourselves want to step up and do those things which is right in his eye and follow after him to the best of our ability, without any malice, without any hatred, brothers loving brothers, and family knowing who family actually is. I just say step up. I just say step up, and I just say, stick as close as you can to the truth. If you hear some of these doctrines coming down before you, and you have and regardless of what the doctrine are, please read for yourself. Any last words from you, brother?
No, just to go along with what you're saying right now, we're definitely seeing a lot of false doctrine out there.
Yes.
We are being awakened, which is the word of the Most High. But even as we're being awakened, there are people that are Israel, that know they're Israel and teaching us that we're Israel,
yes,
that are still leading us away. So, I mean, again, just like you're saying, there's false doctrine out there. The truth is in this word.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if we pray for that truth, we pray for that wisdom and understanding, just like Solomon did, he will grant it to him. Wisdom comes from him. So,
yes,
in his word is also for discernment. So,
hallelujah.
we just have to be wise in this hour. These are the last days. And love the Most High. He says love him, that means keep his commandments.
That's it right there, my brother.
And also believe in the testimony, which is that Yahushua HaMashiach died for our sins.
Hallelujah. Brother Chauncey. Brother Darren. Okay, so we want to say praise Yah, hallelujah.
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 Praise Most High.
Right.
Okay,